Hello guys, I'm back with another video for you today, and a little bit of a different video today. I'm going to be not looking at Gwent, but instead Legends of Runeterra, which is a relatively new card game. It did actually just come out with a bunch of new cards, with a new region, a new faction, a lot of interesting stuff. I played a bit of Runeterra, a few months ago when it was kind of in beta, and I didn't enjoy it that much. I found it quite, regular, quite similar to Hearthstone, Magic, those kind of games, and it still is. It's very much a mixture of kind of Hearthstone, Magic, Artifact even, and, it's pretty solid in what it does. I've never been the biggest fan of those kind of games, but I figured I'd give it another chance now with all these new cards, interesting mechanics being added, and figure it would be interesting and fun to kind of try something other than Gwent for once in terms of the card game genre. So yeah, I have a deck today, and it's kind of focused on some of the new mechanics that have been introduced. Now, I'm not going to do any kind of big in-depth tutorial unless you guys would really like that, because I figure you can just download the game yourself. It is free if you want to check it out, and if you're interested in it, then you probably know what's going on anyway. But yeah, let's have a look at the deck, shall we? So the deck I've got here is focused on the deep mechanic, which is to do with kind of your deck size, and let's see if we can, take an example here. This deep guy. So what deep is once you have 15 or fewer cards in your deck, you get +3/+3 on the units, which doesn't seem that amazing, but that's a pretty big deal in these kind of, Hearthstone-esque games, as I'm sure you're aware. Having bigger units makes it easier to trade, and this is kind of just a nice way to finish the game out. The rest of the deck is kind of focused on drawing through your deck and discarding the cards that are on the top with a mechanic called Toss, which just effectively discards them, discards the top cards. So you're cycling through your deck with the Toss mechanic, with the draw mechanic from a lot of other cards, Glimpse Beyond, for example. You kill your own guy to draw a couple of cards. Salvage here, you draw cards, you toss cards. So you cycle through your deck. Once you're at 15, you're then playing these big sea monsters, which is really helped by the Nautilus here. So he's a champion. These are kind of the rarest, cards in the game, essentially legendaries. And when you become deep, so when your card has 15, when your deck, I should say, has 15 or fewer cards, then he's going to activate, and he's going to kind of put all of your units that you've thrown out with the Toss ability that are 4 or more mana, going to throw them into your deck again and kind of refill it. So you don't have to worry too much about, tossing your big units, because they're going to come back anyway. And Nautilus comes out as this big, tanky, crazy value, 13/13, which is just really, really good kind of stat line, along with some nice keywords, less damage from everything, fearsome, etc. And he also makes sea monster allies cost 4 less, which is a really nice synergy, because those are a lot of the deep cards. They're sea monsters. In fact, I think all of them are. So yeah, you get through your deck, you cycle, and once you're at 15, you play very defensively with this deck. A lot of kind of early game defensive cards. This guy's a little creature for 1 mana, Pool Shark as well. A lot of defensive kind of early game plays. Thorny Toad gives you some healing and whatnot, and the same with this guy. The Wanderer lets you toss some cards and lifesteal, which is healing you up when it does damage. So really you're just surviving the early game, thinning through your deck, getting to 15 cards in deck, and then activating all of your big stuff, reshuffling stuff with Nautilus, and just kind of clowning on the opponent with a bunch of damage and a bunch of big units. There's a lot of really nice synergy here. I won't kind of go into super big detail on every card, because it'll take too long to do that. But yeah, you've got some ways to get more sea monsters, a lot of draw potential, and a lot of toss potential. You kind of got to balance it, because if you're discarding your own cards with something like Jettison, it's not really doing very much. So you also need quite a bit of draw to actually refill your hand and go from there. And yeah, a lot of defensive stuff. We've got a lot of drains, which are going to heal you based on the damage that the units deal and whatnot. So yeah, pretty good stuff. Some really big chunky units at the end. Atrocity is pretty cool as well. You can kill your own Nautilus and deal 13 damage to anything. Enemy creature, the opponent, whatever. This guy's also really good. Able to destroy units equal to or less, or rather, less health than he has. And yeah, just a lot of sea monster and deep synergy. I think that's one of the cooler mechanics that came out with the expansion, so I wanted to give it a go. And it actually does feel quite strong, but let's just jump into some games and see how this works. Okay, let's jump right in. So we're going to be against some kind of Teemo deck, which is usually focused around the pretty interesting strategy, putting mushrooms in the deck, which when you draw them, they kind of deal damage. So kind of an alternative win condition. So with the mulligans, we're going to kind of get rid of all our high mana cards, of course. Getting that 1 mana per turn, you know, it's like Hearthstone or anything like that if you aren't aware. So we don't want the high mana stuff, we're not going to be able to play that for a while. Vile Feast is pretty low mana, we could maybe mulligan it though because it's not super good, although can deal with a Teemo if we see that, so I guess I'll keep it in this situation. Get rid of the rest. Got some nice early game plays here, 1 mana, 2 mana, and there is Teemo, so we can hopefully deal with that with the Feast, that's really good. So we'll just start with the dredges, of course, get those on the board and start cycling through the deck a little bit. When we get down to 15 cards, and then, you know, the sea monsters will become quite big. We can play, you know, stuff like the beast below. We can definitely think about using that, you know, before it actually activates the deep, because the deep mechanic works such that if the unit's already on the board or in combat and you become deep, if your deck then goes down to 15 cards, then you'll actually still get the you know, +3/+3 on board. So worth keeping that in mind. There's some neat little tricks you can do with that in mind. Let's just go for the attack here, and then I'm going to try to Vile Feast the Teemo. Hopefully that actually works and he won't have some kind of damage. So by attacking here, we give him the proactivity. He is able to play a card if he wants to. So we're kind of baiting him maybe there into, you know, doing something. Using up his mana so he can't protect Teemo. I guess this probably will die regardless, but we might have, you know, played around something there. To be honest, with these colours that the opponent's playing, you know, Piltover and Shadow Isles, it was probably irrelevant. Might have just been better to take the extra damage with the Spiderling I could have got, but that's hindsight. That's good for us, we managed to deal with his legendary pretty effectively, and often what the deck is built around is the Teemo. He's going to get it back though, so we're going to have to keep that in mind. We do have an elusive unit ourselves, so these are elusive units, they're kind of like flying in, you know, in Magic. So you can block them with your own elusive units. So we'll play this guy, and he's going to draw a spell as well as give me an extra spell mana to use, so that's going to be pretty nice. We're getting through the deck, not too quickly, we've still got a few toss units to play. So we have the attack now, so I think I will attack with some stuff. We can probably hold back the dredges, but we'll attack with the other two. I would like the Thorny Toad to die. We can kill it off with Glimpse Beyond at some later point, kill our own unit. And yeah, when this guy dies, he's going to give us a little bit of toss, a little bit of healing. So kind of quite happy for him to die. That's why we have Glimpse Beyond in the deck, to make sure that those guys do get removed. We'll hold on to this though for the moment. Could keep that mana for later. We'll see where to go here. We might go with the 3 and the 2, 5 mana, seems pretty good. So he's probably doing some kind of bait here, I would imagine, right? He's going to have some kind of damage for my elusive unit, I would imagine. But I'm still going to do this block. I obviously don't want that Teemo to be planting poison puff caps into my deck, which he does every time he hits my Nexus. So I'll just try to block that. And I think he's going to have something up his sleeve. Yep, looks like he does. So now we'll take the Glimpse Beyond, I suppose, because our unit's going to die anyway. We can kill it before he kills it. And that's going to mean we draw 2 cards, which is going to be nice. Gives us more options, gives us, you know, gets us closer to the deep threshold. Which right now I'm kind of struggling to meet. That's a good draw. I'm going to be able to kill his Teemo with the Devourer, because he's only got 1 health, so we can obliterate him. So now the question really is, do we want to go with, you know, some life-stealing guys, or the Dredgers and the Beast? Perhaps another Thorny Toad could be good. I mean, these guys are kind of hard for me to kill at this point. But yeah, we can go with some toss. Really get us closer. We might even, I guess, discard cards which have mushrooms on them, which is pretty neat. I think that's how that works. So yeah, Thorny Toad again, or we could go with the Dredger, but I guess the Toads are good to get down. The earlier we get them down, the more attacks we can do, and the more likely they will be to die. We also maybe dissuade him from attacking himself. So I think we'll just go with a Devourer here to deal with the Teemo. We could also play the Hunters. It's Challenger, so we can pull in some of his units. You can challenge them when you attack. So we could kill Teemo with that. I'm also a bit threatened by this Peddler. So, you know, it might actually be better to go with the Hunters first. Just Hunters and Dredger this round. Kind of depends, like, I don't really want him to be, you know, poisoning me a bunch. So maybe we'll go with the Hunter here. Teemo probably won't be leveling up, and we can maybe deal with it anyway if it does. So we'll just go for this. This is a little bit more, you know, aggressive, as it were. Probably not going to attack with the Dredgers anyway, because they do get kind of eaten up pretty easily. So I'll just attack with these, I think, with all of these units. Yeah. You can kind of trade these away. The positioning here might matter on where we attack, because we want a lifesteal. Maybe we won't attack with both of the Toads in that case. Maybe we'll attack with the one, just the one Toad. See if he wants to kill it with the Chomp Womp. Be fine with that. And if not, I'm also fine with that. And keep the other as a blocker. And I mean, he's probably not going to kill them. He's going to use all his mushrooms now, right? This will mean the Teemo is going to level up, I guess. Which is actually pretty scary. Like, maybe I should have gone for the kill on him, but hopefully he won't, you know, immediately attack and I'll be able to answer it next turn. If he does, then he actually doubles the amount of mushrooms in my deck, which could get a bit scary. I mean, right now we don't have too many in there and we have a lot of lifesteal on the board, so I'm not that worried about it. I'm going to actually avoid playing the Dredgers, I think. I don't want to kind of row stack myself. You can only have 6 units on board, so don't want to have too many here. Could get a bit nasty. So the mushrooms are hitting me. And he does attack straight away, which is a bit annoying, but alright. Not the end of the world. He does double the amount of mushrooms. So we have 36 now, so 36 potential damage. I'm not too worried about it because we can toss away a lot of it, I would imagine. And we're getting pretty close. I think I'm gonna... getting pretty close to our threshold for being deep. So let's just deal with that Teemo then. It's a bit late, but better late than never. Probably should have dealt with that last turn, honestly. Ended up giving the opponent some kind of win condition. But I'm pretty sure I can actually just discard a lot of the mushrooms away with my toss. So I don't think we'll be in too much trouble in this situation. I'm also going to get to attack pretty soon, so we're actually on the deep threshold if we, you know, draw one card here, which we will do naturally, and we can just, you know, discard 4 with this. So that should be pretty good. Could even play the Dredgers, but I want to keep, you know, keep myself a little bit safe from having, you know, too little space. Let's maybe play Jettison now, I guess. Sounds good. So yeah, that's getting rid of mushrooms, as you see here. We got rid of 9 of them also. So that's pretty good. We have kind of a natural counter with the discards and all the lifesteal. I'm going to get to 3 mana again, 3 spell mana. And now we are deep. So all my sea monsters are going to be a fair bit bigger now. And my Nautilus is also looking very scary. And I think we're going to just drop the Nautilus here. We could also kind of wait. We could play... Nah, I think it's just Nautilus. Really scary. Scary boy, 13-13. Very, very big. He might be able to deal with it. That would be kind of sad, but one way or another we are kind of activated now, our deck. It's going to be possible to, do some nice things, I think. So he's just going to try to kill off the lifesteal unit here, and I suppose he's going to maybe make it hard for me to get hits, get my Thorny Toads dead. Let's just play a 7/7 here. I don't want to play the Abyssal Eyes because they'll draw me cards when I hit his face, and that could kill me faster with the mushrooms in deck. So every time we draw a card, we have a chance of mushrooming ourselves to death. They deal 1 damage whenever they pop up, so be a little bit careful. But we have a lot of stuff on the board right now. This is kind of a scary attack for us. Very happy if he kills my weaker units, because that'll allow us more space, maybe to play a 6/6. And he's not even going to block, so I guess he just gives up. We'll take the win there. And let's jump into another one and see how it plays again. Okay, the opponent this time got quite a few different champions in their deck. See what's going on with that. Hopefully we can get the sea monsters active again. That'd be pretty cool. So we can get rid of these. Probably. We want to wait a little bit on the salvage because it's not a very tempo heavy play. We'll fall behind a bit. Jewel Hunters I'm okay with. It's kind of early game, right? Okay, we've got Pool Shark, which isn't super useful unless it, randomly finds us a fleeting card of 2 mana or so, which is possible, but not super likely. We can attack here. His rear guard can't block, so just deal 1 damage. And really this guy's just cycling through the deck a little bit more. It doesn't matter too much if you can't play, the card, which unfortunately we can't here. Just gonna have to pass. We'll be able to kill the spider that spawns here, so that's decent, but we are going to take a bit of damage to this aggro. It's going to be a little bit painful. Unfortunately we miss a turn there. We don't get to play any units, which does hurt. We would have really liked to see a horny toad, or thorny toad. I got used to calling it horny toad because it is the way. Okay, so we have a beast. That's pretty nice. Can go and attack, kill the Elise because that's a bit of a threat, and just attack with Pool Shark because these guys cannot block. They are going to be pretty scary on his attack though. 6 damage coming in is a lot more than I'd like to deal with, honestly. So I'll probably block the next one with the Pool Shark. Glimpse Beyond to kill it. And then yeah, we'll see where to go from there. Aggro is going to be a bit scary. We do have tools to defend against it. Just need to make sure we draw them. Probably the beast is going to be a good option here. I'm just going to block this attack and glimpse beyond my Pool Shark because it's going to die anyway. I don't really care about the 1 damage on the rear guard. So he'll just block the attack even though he's dead. Get us some card draw, get us some more options. So now really the question is, what do we want to go for? Do we want to go for the Zap Sprayfin or some sea monsters? I think I want some just pure strength on the board at this point, so I'm going to play my beast below. Get a 4/4 body that can hopefully deal with these guys should they attack again. Alright. So I think we've managed to stabilize reasonably well here. It is our attack, so we can kind of chill another turn. Okay. So I would quite like to get Thorny Toad out. I guess I'll probably play Thorny Toad and the Dredgers. Just have some good, solid blockers available for next turn. It's not super mana efficient, but I don't mind so much because we're going to have that spare mana. It will come in useful later, even if not kind of immediately. And honestly, getting our own offense down with the Abyssal Eye, for example, is not going to be too useful at this point. I'd rather have some defensive plays available. Definitely getting closer to the deep threshold. Got a Toss 4 available. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to attack here. It's not looking too worth it. He might even have combat tricks, which he wants to use. That could be a bit nasty. Okay, so he's just attacking straight in. Pretty big attack. We'll block the spider there. one of the rear guards, and I suppose we can do the Toad over here. It's probably good to keep him alive for the moment. He could have a lot of, you know, damage coming through with special cards, with spells, but I think we're gonna have to make do for now. Hopefully we're not dying to this. I would imagine we're not. Okay. So we do take a bit of damage, but, you know, our Thorny Toad dies, it's gonna get us a bit more toss, and we're getting very, very close to our threshold now, so that's pretty good news. The question is, what do we want to go for here? We could go for an Abyssal Eye, it's not too amazing. So we need to do kind of 6 more thinning of some kind. We've got 1 on the draw. We might want to play the Nautilus next round. With that in mind, maybe the correct play is the Spray Fin. Can also find maybe a Vile Feast to kill the rearguard. Glimpse Beyond, alright. I'm kind of sad that I did this now. Because we might have some difficulties. But okay. Let's just chill for now then. Part of me would like to glimpse beyond my own unit here, but I don't think that can be correct. We'll see what we draw. We might get some kind of option. Alright, so I think we'll just develop a few units here. The Thorny Toad, for example. Maybe the Abyssal Eye. I need some blockers on the board for his attack that will come in next turn, because that's going to be quite scary. And then we'll be able to develop the Nautilus. A little bit late, perhaps, but... yeah, I think we'll go with the Abyssal Eye as well here. And when that attack's in, it's going to give us a draw, which will activate Deep. So as long as we survive his next attack, we're winning the game pretty much, for certain. He has a lot of units on the board though, so it is getting a little bit scary. We've got the Toad that'll, you know, block a decent amount of damage, thankfully. So we're going to become a Deep, which is definitely good news. Here we go. Draw a Pool Shark. Can't really play that right now. Alright. So we're really going to have to just absolutely damage control here as much as possible. Really just don't care about these small spiders and block the big units. So we'll do exactly that. In fact, we have to block here because this is how we're going to do it, I think. Just minimize damage taken as much as possible, because if we survive here, we're pretty much winning the game. We can always glimpse beyond our Toad, potentially, if we need to. And with that line of thought, it might be better to use Toad over here, actually. Because we can always kill it if we need to. Right? Give us some extra healing. I don't know, maybe it's just better over here. We can also glimpse beyond, maybe... Nah, I think we've got to go for this. Alright, so he's just going to take a line of play which is just dealing with our units rather than worrying too much about killing us immediately, so that's good to see. I should think we're not dying here. I will go for the Glimpse Beyond here, of course, to get some free card draw, because that's dying anyway. Kill our own unit. We won't be dying here, but it's going to be pretty close, I would imagine. Alright. I'm not sure why the opponents are emoting so much there. Maybe they're a bit worried about what's to come. So we have enabled our big guys. So I think it might be time, guys, for the Nautilus. I really love playing this. It feels very good when the big lads come down. And now we'll be able to play another big sea beast, along with, you know, a smaller but also pretty good little fella. I think it'll probably be Pool Shark here, and the reasoning is we can get another draw, potentially another sea monster. And we should just be, you know, brutalizing him in this next round here. With these big units. Alright. So, we can play pretty much everything. We can obliterate one of his guys. I guess we can start with doing that. In fact, that might not even be a good one to play. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have even played Pool Shark, because we have just too many good units here. We want to play all of them. Okay, it's got a glimpse. That's kind of a bit annoying, but whatever. I mean, we can probably attack here and kill him, actually. Not quite. So we definitely want to play the Terror of the Tides. So we can play that now. It's going to give all my sea monsters fearsome, so he can't attack, he can't defend with his lower strength units, and yeah, he's going to get out of here. Some big powerful creatures, some big powerful deep units. Very cool, very fun gameplay. And yeah, that worked out pretty well. Hopefully that was fun to watch. I'll probably be doing a few more Legends of Runeterra videos if you guys want to see that, and I can do some kind of tutorial as well if that would be appreciated. Let me know. But yeah, I'm going to keep building some decks, experimenting with the new cards, and we'll see what can be done with those. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Have a good time and stay safe. Bye.